This guy's silky. Welcome back to Chicago Hockey Radio. Oh my goodness, the second round of the Stanley Cup playoffs is officially over, and I cannot wait. I can't wait to talk to you all about it. I'm Lee Grossman. With me today is just Tassos Kirkos. It's just us today, brother.
Shout out the vacation boys.
Yeah, shout out big vacation boys. No, we're just kidding.
No, I'm not.
I'm not. They're going to be back this week. So Tassos co-hosting today with me, but also in the producer chair. So we're gonna see how this goes. So no complaints in chat. All right. If there's, hey, what's going on here? What's going on here? I don't want to hear it. All right. He's hosting and producing. We're going to have a fun show. Before we get into it though, if you're new here, if you're listening to us for the first time, make sure you hit the subscribe button. Subscribe to the channel. We do shows every single Monday, Wednesday, Friday. We also do live streams quite a bit, especially right now in the playoffs. So if you're interested in any of that stuff, you want to get more content out of us, hit that subscribe button and hit that notification bell so that you know when we go live. Tassos, everything we do here is live. We're always live. The pressure's on. It's not like some fun little thing where we can show up and just kind of blow off some steam, say whatever, because you can go back in, cut it up. We're live. We're live all the time. So hit that notification bell so you know when we're live. Follow us on Instagram as well, Chicago Hockey Radio, just so you can stay up in the loop with everything we're doing. We also post a ton of fun content on there from anywhere, anything from like skits to photo dumps to old highlights to our stream schedule. So follow us on Instagram. And then if you listen to us on Apple Podcasts or Spotify, please give us a 5-star rating and review. That stuff helps us out a lot. Okay. All right.
This is going to be interesting.
It is, and I'm really happy to be doing the show with you today. And I know you've gotten bombarded with texts over the past, 12 hours or so. And I know everybody that's coming into these streams, it was the same thing for Game 5, but same thing again last night. Just everybody like, oh, how's Tassos? How's Tassos? And the thing is like, I don't think everyone understands is like, you've seen this movie so many times. You were like already emotionally detached in a way. I want to say like you came into the studio like, you got here 30 minutes before stream yesterday, getting off a flight, fired up the stream right away. And I had to get a feel because I didn't know where your head was at. And I could tell you were like, look, like they're a good team. They're at home. They should be able to win. But I know they're not, is what you said to me, if I remember correctly. I guess I want to throw it over to you. We can do big picture Maple Leafs talk. We can talk. I mean, like we're not going to start talking about, oh yeah, Florida started fast in the first period and then Toronto responded really well in the second half of the first period. Like we're not going to do any of that right now. What are your feelings about the Toronto Maple Leafs, about the core four, about the way Game 7 went last night?
Okay. I did come in here and I said there is a part of me that believes that they could muster up the courage that it would take to defeat the Florida Panthers in a Game 7 on home ice after getting trounced in Game 5 and stringing together 2 wins, which did kick off the series. So, tiny bit of me believed, right? A little bit, a very, very little bit. But I walked in here and I said to you that there is a very, very high likelihood that Florida wins, and it is just a question of how many goals they win by. And you were like, oh, I think it's going to be very, very close, 1-0, 2-1 game. And I there were a few options of how this could go, and Florida blowout was definitely on the bingo card. A lot of people are shocked, I guess, right? Like, a lot of people are shocked, but I don't think a lot of people are surprised, right? Because they are shocked that it turned out the way that it did and that the effort looked as bad as it did.
Yeah.
But not surprised in the fact that, like,
they lost.
They lost this. No. That even it was a blowout, you know, that Florida is just really good. So, we have a lot of clips here that we're going to play. I have the entire Maple Leafs lineup like ready to go here.
God. Dude, in the post-game interviews were just like dark and sad. Like I watched Tavares. I watched a bit of Marner. I'm excited that you have got some of these.
I've
prepared.
got all of it. I've got all of it.
Good.
I got Auston. I have Morgan too, and
just
Craig
like
Berube.
Before we play them, like the Florida guys, I just feel like we're just pouring and I just love it because they're all just slime balls. They're just pouring gasoline on the fire. Marchand, Kachuk, Maurice, they're all saying the same shit. They're all like, "Oh man, these poor guys, these poor multimillionaires, just dealing with so much pressure in Toronto, man."
No. Look. If we're doing big picture stuff, there is no you know, you and I were watching Steve Dangle's LFR before
Leafs talk
this,
too,
and you know, we watched the Leafs talk after the stream last night, and those guys are all really, really good at what they do, which is why it's important to watch it. And you know, Steve's thing is that it's more about the fans than anything. And Sam McKee's too is, you know, playing somewhere where it matters, saying that it matters more in Toronto or whatever, that is a disrespect to Florida Panthers fans. Like, Florida is my number 2 team. I was actually
the Tassos Bowl.
I was at my little sister's college graduation this year. Shout out Olivia. You know, she graduated college this year, and I'm very proud. But we were watching the game. What was it? Saturday night after the Friday or Saturday night? We were watching. Yeah, it was Friday night. We were watching the game.
Yeah,
and she looks at the game, and she doesn't watch hockey. She doesn't know what's going on. But she looks at the game and she goes, "Oh, your 2 favorite teams are playing right now." And I go, "Yep." And she goes, "Oh, I wonder how that must be." Like, she knew right away how I felt about the whole thing, you know. And Florida, I love everything about what the Florida. Like, we'll talk Panthers too.
Yeah.
You know,
that's
it is so cool to watch them grow into a market that people want to play in, and people do. Like, I have friends that are Florida Panthers fans down there. Like, they do exist. That's not like I was in it, dude. I grew up in it. Like, it was something that was definitely a struggle for a long time, as they were the laughing stock of the NHL. But this is you know, a good era for them. Like, Vinny Viola has really turned it around. Bill Zito's probably the best general manager in the NHL, outside of Jim Nill, maybe. Yeah. And I know it's not like the sexiest Final Four in the NHL. I think everybody's sort of hoping that the Oilers beat Dallas, and you know, we get Connor McDavid in the final once again. And but yeah, it's
Dallas
really good teams.
Fine.
Like, these
it's wagons. It's all really, really talented.
I can't have
teams.
Dallas, Carolina. I
can't do that.
I can't do that.
For me, Tassos, and I said it on the stream last night.
It's not fair.
I can't do Carolina and anybody. I'm sorry. The storylines, the narratives, the style of hockey, the entertainment factor. You need Florida coming out of the East, and then I'm okay with a Dallas, Florida. I'm okay with an Edmonton, Florida. Carolina versus anyone in the Stanley Cup final doesn't excite me. Sorry, Taylor Hall.
Yeah, no, I don't want to do it either. I can't really. With the
here you go.
I said yesterday on the stream, it's not fair that we spent a whole year starting up CHR, and the first Stanley Cup final we get as a show is Dallas and the Carolina Hurricanes. It's not fair to us.
That would be wrong.
So, we've put too much work into this. Give us an Edmonton Florida rematch. That is what is probably best for the show as well, because we know a lot of people in both those markets too. So we can get a lot of guests on for an Edmonton Florida final. We can't get a lot of guests on for a Dallas Carolina final. So, Let's see. Yeah. I don't know. Big picture stuff on the Leafs. I do want to just, because I am going to be working on other stuff. I told Lee. So if I'm, checked in and checked out of this show, it is because my hands are all over the place here. Big picture on this stuff with the Leafs. Do you want to talk Mitch Marner first? Do you want to hear from some of these guys? Yeah. Like, do we want to Well,
let's start with kind of your thoughts. I mean, I'll give my thoughts too, but I think it's more valuable coming from you, obviously, as a Leafs fan. But just the core four, it's the end. It's the end. Marner, Tavares contracts being up this year. Marner's not coming back. Correct. Like there's no way. I would say you should move off Tavares too, unless he's going to sign for basically nothing.
I think he might.
Which, if he does, fine. You keep him for $4 million. Sure. There you go, Johnny.
I think that would be a good move for him.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, he's been making $11 million for how long now? 7 years?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. He's got the money in the bank. I'm not going to be worried about old Johnny T still getting paid. It's not disrespectful to say, here's $3 million.
You don't think he's watching this Mitch Marner stuff too? And being like,
I'm sure.
You think he's talked to him at all and been like, hey, I left New York and did this.
Dude, and I saw his interview last night, and they asked him, does this group deserve to run it back again? And he was like hesitant, and he's like, obviously we're not going to quit. We want to keep trying, but that's
okay. All right. It sounds like we should hear from some of these guys.
All right, go ahead. Let's roll them.
Let's listen to Auston first.
Okay.
So quickly here tonight?
I don't know. I mean, first period I thought they came out a little bit hungrier than us. I thought we, last half of that period we got our game going, and then I don't know how it really got away from us. I think just not on the same page in different areas of the game.
Can you describe the disappointment you must be feeling?
Not really.
Are you tired of doing this?
Yeah, I am. I think we all are. I mean, I think there's 31 teams that go home very disappointed, and obviously we're one of them, so it's not a great feeling.
Okay, I wanted to stop it there, and then we'll keep it going, but
31 teams.
That part I didn't like.
Comparing my Chicago Blackhawks to what you're feeling right now,
These are tough questions, though. These are the kinds of questions that I wish they would ask the Blackhawks players. Mm-hmm. I also forget that I'm on camera 100% of the time as I'm doing this, so I need to keep that in check. But yeah, I don't know. The idea of is there a way to describe the disappointment you're feeling? And he's like, not really.
Yeah.
That's tough.
Yeah.
Should we keep listening?
Yeah, sure.
All right.
I can understand the frustration of the fans, though. There was some throwing jerseys on the ice, and there's a lot of booing in this game again tonight. I mean, what's your message to the fans who have had to deal with this year after year with this?
Yeah, it's tough to kind of gather, thoughts on all that so quickly after the game. I mean, I think, you look, back on training camp, just all the work that you put in to get yourself to this point, and it's very, very frustrating, obviously, for us as well as them included. So, it's tough to kind of gather your thoughts on all that right away.
What was your sense of the group coming into this one, Auston?
I felt like we were ready to play. I felt like we were, in a good mindset. Like I said, I thought the first, 10 minutes we didn't, they came out strong, and the next 10 minutes I thought we controlled play. And then I just thought we had too many passengers throughout the rest of the game and just weren't on the same page. And they get a couple goals and momentum like that, and then you're chasing the game, and it's hard to get it back. When you're down 3 against a good team that plays sound defensively like them.
Yeah, Auston, you were like the GOAT of the passengers. You were like the best passenger ever.
Okay.
He was a passenger.
Not yesterday. Not at least. Okay, in the first period, No, he was not.
He was a dash too.
Everybody was a dash.
Yeah,
everybody was a dash.
Don't tell me Auston played good yesterday. Like,
There were a lot of other players that I noticed more. Or I guess I should say I didn't notice more.
I'm trying to think of what goal it was that there was a pass that just got like straight through him.
I mean,
like,
we're gonna get into this, dude. We have an hour to spend on.
We're gonna spend all of it and maybe more.
Yeah. This is, something that Mitch also picked up on in his thing, the too many passengers comment. I don't really know who they're singling out there, right? Because I did notice guys deeper in the lineup. It's nobody on the D core that you can blame.
Nope.
It's not the goaltending. It's not the the bottom six. It wasn't, it was like, are they singling out Willie? Like,
who are they pointing fingers at?
Is it Willie? I think that's something that's going to have to come out here sooner or later. So, well, let's finish out this Matthews stuff and then we'll move on to another player. But the too many passengers thing is a narrative to hold on to as we continue this conversation.
Thoughts on playing with Auston, with Mitch all these years, and we hope he comes back.
Yeah, I mean, he's like a brother to me and, to all of us. I think we're a very tight-knit group, and we obviously love him to death. That's all I can really say about that.
Were you healthy in this series?
I don't know. I'm not really going to address that right now. It's, you go out there and just try to compete and give your all, and that's what I was trying to do.
And that's the clip. And that was that was something that you were heavy on when they talked about it on Leafs Talk, and we were talking. We've had this conversation before about injuries and stuff like that, and it's important for him to share probably what was going on at some point, because
he's got to.
Yeah.
Because if he doesn't, Tassos, and it's just like, if you don't share what you're going through, what do you want the fans and the media to do other than just be like, okay, then it probably wasn't a big deal. I'm not going to give you the benefit of the doubt over something that I don't even know if it's true or not. Like, what are you going to say? Source, trust me, bro. I was going through something and I don't want to tell anybody what it was, because it's like, if he was dealing with, and this is what they were talking about it on Leafs Talk, but it's like, if he was dealing with a back injury and a wrist injury and his fucking knee was banged up too, and he had if he had all this stuff that he was playing through, it changes the lens at which you view his performance this year. Mm-hmm. But if it's not to the severity of any of that, it's a completely different, he deserves all the heat. He deserves all the scrutiny. It's like, you have to tell people what the injuries were. You can't use that as and I understand, I get that guys in the NHL don't want to share the injuries because they don't want people coming after them. And they were alluding to that on Leafs Talk, that he's like a really paranoid guy about that kind of stuff. It's the off season, dude. This is this is the fork in the road for your career, your life, realistically. The end of an end of an era. And it's it's not the time to be keeping this stuff hush, quiet, not you got to be candid. You got to have some sort of, I don't know, man. It's so frustrating. And I've mentioned on the show earlier in the year, how this stuff drives me through a wall. And I can't even imagine being a fan of this team, because that shit would just drive me insane. It's tell us, let us know what you were going through so that we can, figure out what we're doing going forward here. Because if that's Auston Matthews at his best, we should be talking about trading the guy almost. Seriously.
Yeah, I totally think you just say it. What did they say on Leafs Talk? Even lie? Just lie.
Literally say that your fucking foot was hanging off the bone. Because then I'm going to come on here and be like, all right, Auston Matthews had that really good performance in Game 6 with his foot hanging off the bone of his ankle, not even able to get his skate on. And he had that really good defensive performance and scored that massive goal to force it to a Game 7. I'm not blaming him. Let's build around him and Willie. That's what I'm saying. Lie. Don't say nothing. Saying nothing is the worst thing he can possibly do. I don't understand. Does he not have an agent? Are there not people in his life, trying to help him out? Say something. Tell us what's going on, Auston. Because if you don't, I'm just gonna run with the narrative that you're a big loser and you're never gonna be able to get it done in the postseason or when the lights are brightest. I'm gonna talk about the Four Nations. I'm gonna talk about Game 7s, 0-7 in Game 7s. I'm gonna talk about how you've had this star-studded team for years and years and years, and you've never been able to get past the second round. That's all I'm gonna talk about. That's all I'm gonna talk about. So tell me that your fucking elbow's coming out of your right arm. Tell me that. Let me know, please. I don't know, man. Do we want to play more clips here?
Yeah. You want to go to Mitch next?
Yeah, sure. Let's listen to Mitch Marner, future Blackhawk. I'm just kidding. Play it.
What went wrong tonight?
I mean, obviously the effort level. I liked the end of the first period. Second, we gave them opportunities they didn't miss.
Mitch, what kind of emotions are you feeling right now?
Sadness, obviously, depression, I don't know all of it.
Your future is a big one being discussed these days. I know it's really close to the season just ending, but where do you stand on contracts and coming back and your thoughts?
I don't have any thoughts right now. I mean, like I said, pretty devastated with what just happened. Devastated. I've always enjoyed this team and, this city, like I've always said.
Is there not a small part of you, though, that thinks maybe it would just be better to move on?
Sorry?
Is there not just a small part of you that thinks maybe it would be better to just move on?
Like I said, I haven't thought about anything. Just thought about coming here every day and trying to put my best foot forward and help this team win hockey games and help try to win that ultimate goal.
How much did you enjoy playing with Auston?
Yeah, it's been amazing. I mean, everyone on this team, so many skilled guys, but obviously playing with Auston for the last 6-7 years, whatever it's been, he makes the game easy, and he's one of the best for a reason.
I mean, is the only like?
There's more. There's more.
I just feel like he's not. I feel like he's already moved on mentally. Can I be honest with you? That's the vibe. And maybe you get a completely different vibe, and that's fine. But it's just like, dude, you Toronto kid, no? Like, you've worked your whole life for this. This has been your dream your entire life. And I would imagine his dream growing up as an 8-year-old kid wasn't just playing for the Leafs and scoring 100 points and getting bounced in the first round. I would imagine that his dream was winning a Stanley Cup for the Toronto Maple Leafs and becoming a legend forever. I would assume maybe not, based on honestly how they perform in these games, maybe that wasn't his dream and he was more worried about like the All-Star and the skills competition and like making money. Maybe. I don't know. But I'm just like, I'm putting myself through his shoes. I'm thinking, oh my God, like I just spent the past, has it been 9 years, 10 years, whatever it's been for Mitch Marner in Toronto, playing for the team I grew up watching, playing the sport I love. And now it might be coming all to an end. And it's like, you've got brothers on your team. And it's like, that might all be gone forever. Like, that would destroy me. I would be crying. I would literally be crying in that post-game interview. Like, if you actually care. And so I just don't think it matters to him as much as like it would to a normal human being. That's how I feel about it. I don't know. Unless you have thoughts, I guess you could play it more, but
sorry. I was posting our schedule on Instagram really
quick.
Go
check that out.
Yeah, everybody go check it out. So you're tapped in. We'll be streaming every game during the weekday, but we'll be off this weekend. And then I open up Instagram. Possible landing spots for Mitch Marner this offseason, according to BR Open Ice. Philadelphia Flyers, Utah Mammoth, New York Rangers, Pittsburgh Penguins, Lincoln Bio for full list. No, thank you. But point being is that no thanks. But point being, if this is all about, like I told you, if I were Mitch Marner, I saw a shot of him. There were a couple of shots of him on the bench, obviously going around. Yeah. There was the one of him yelling at the bench. That is not what I'm talking about. I'm talking more about like I'm talking about the one where he smacks his head on his stick a little bit. That's near the end of the third period, toward the end of the game. Yeah. It's not the one at the very end, but it's one before then. But to me, that was almost like, oh my gosh, I'm gonna have to take less money if I want to stay here. Bang my stick against my head. To me, like, that is what I looked at, and I saw he was like, I'm going to have to play for $7 million if I want to stay here.
What is the number?
It's like $7-8 million.
Sheesh. Yeah.
And he would have to sign like an 8x8 and be like, hey, I really did the team dirty. Like, let's use this extra cap for the next, handful of years. So like really, like, let's go get another guy. You know what I'm saying? John's coming off the books. That would be the only way I could, because that would be like
it's the only way you can rationalize it.
It's the only way you can rationalize it is like, hey, I'm going to take a lot less, but versus what if Mitch Marner, he's not going to take 8x8, dude. Like, this is what this guy's been working for his whole life. Yep. Like Darren Ferris and, Paul Marner are not going to be into that. I promise. Yep. Leaving, $50 million on the table amount. Like, that's not really probably in Mitch Marner's best interest. So, but look, I mean, like, people.
Maybe it is, though. Maybe it is in his best interest. Like, I guess it depends upon how you look at it. Like, is it like, hey, we worked this hard to get to the NHL. You grinded your whole life for this, get paid as much as you possibly can. Like, then yes, obviously that's not in his best interest. But it's like, if you care about your legacy at all, maybe it is.
Especially in the city of Toronto.
Maybe
like, if you
is.
care about your legacy in your hometown.
But that's not even, Tassos, that's what they were saying on Leafs Talk last night, is like this narrative, it's not just like Toronto talking about Mitch Marner. Like, I'm covering the sport from Chicago calling this guy a loser. It's not just Toronto. Like, league-wide, I think that if he
definitely probably cost himself a little bit of money. Like, he's not Mikko Rantanen, and Mikko Rantanen took $12 million to stay in Dallas.
Yep. To go to Dallas, yeah.
Like, this is JD Bunkus brought up Colorado as a possibility for Mitch.
Good. That'd be great for Mitch.
That'd be
a perfect fit for Mitch.
Yeah.
But because Mitch Marner, and so this is. Can we do the Blackhawks talk a little bit now? Can we do the Marner to Chicago thing now? So this is, and I know I've changed my tune over the course of the past couple months, and like blame, like if you want to get on me for that, like, okay, I literally could not give less of a shit. I don't want to pay $13.5 million or more than that for Mitch Marner. I just don't, because then what? What do you pay Connor Bedard? When Connor Bedard ends up being a superstar, like we all know he's inevitably going to be, what do you pay Connor Bedard? Are you going to have an internal cap? Are you going to pay Connor Bedard more than Mitch Marner? I mean, maybe. I don't know. Like maybe he signs a bridge deal in this next deal, and then he's going to get paid more 4 years later, whatever. Mitch Marner cannot be the highest paid player on your team. He just can't. Mitch Marner can't be the guy. Mitch Marner cannot be a number one, or dare I say a number two. He cannot. He just cannot. No. You're not going to win a Stanley Cup with Mitch Marner being the highest paid player on your team. I know that the sentiment around Blackhawks Twitter and social media and other people we've talked to that cover the Blackhawks have said, who cares? You give him money, you bring the guy in. No, you don't do that. You don't pay a guy that much money for 7 years that is not a winner. You know what you have with Mitch Marner. You know he can't be the guy. He cannot be the guy. So why would you pay him like the guy? Mitch Marner's going to make over $13 million in free agency. He is. He is. There are so many teams that want to get their hands on Mitch Marner. If all he wants is money, he's going to make over $13 million. I am just going to jump out of a window if it's the Blackhawks, because we're not going to win with that. You're just not going to win with Mitch Marner being the guy, and it's frustrating that people can like watch this happen and be like, yeah, I'll pay him $13.5 million. You know who else makes I've got Edmonton Oilers Puckpedia pulled up here. You know how much money Leon Draisaitl's getting paid next year? $14 million. You pay guys that much money who are amazing during the regular season. Leon Draisaitl might win the Hart. No big deal. Leon Draisaitl also elevates his play in the postseason. Leon Draisaitl can steal you a game. Leon Draisaitl shows up in game 5 through 7. All right? Those are people you pay that much money to. Kirill Kaprizov. I mean, that guy shows up. Sure, he was injured this year. That guy shows up. That's a guy you pay $13+ million for, right? Connor McDavid, I mean, we don't even have to do Connor McDavid. Like, don't ever, it's Connor McDavid. Those are guys that you pay that much money to. Mikko Rantanen's making 12. You want me to take Mitch in Chicago for 13.5, and then for the next 7 years, we're going to have to play the Dallas Stars in the playoffs every single fucking year, looking at Mikko Rantanen cooking us, making $1.5 million less than Mitch Marner? No, man. No, I don't want Mitch Marner. I don't want Mitch Marner unless it's at a discount, and why the fuck would he come to Chicago at a discount? Why would he come to Chicago at a discount? Mitch Marner's going to come to Chicago for 11.5?
So I have a couple of thoughts. I would bring Mitch Marner to Chicago still.
Oh, you're gutless.
No. If I'm Kyle Davidson, if I'm Kyle Davidson, like if I'm sitting in the chair right now, I had a team that was supposed to be better. You finished 31 out of 32. You dropped a spot in the draft. You tried to get a second top 5 pick last year. It did not work out. You picked the right shot D-man over the superstar, even though Demidov, it's going to be a little bit because these are kids, remember. I'm still of the ilk that I don't know how much a draft pick from the top 5 of this draft class is going to contribute immediately to the lineup of an NHL team.
I agree with that.
I don't think Michael Misa is going to come in here and be a even 50-point guy in the NHL. Like, I don't think that's realistic at all.
It'll be a couple years, yeah.
Yeah, give it some time, maybe those kids. But look, if you're Kyle Davidson, you probably like your job and you probably want to keep your job.
Oh gosh.
And I'm just saying that while Mitch Marner has clearly, I am not advocating for any of this whatsoever. Mitch Marner, is not a winner in terms of whatever the construct of what is going on in Leafland right now with the Leafs. The construct of that team does not work. The mix doesn't work. Mitch Marner will get you wins in the regular season. He will contribute to winning hockey. He will probably unlock a lot out of Connor Bedard that we have been sort of looking for offensively, right? Like I do think that's 100% factual. I don't think that's
true statements.
You put Mitch Marner on Connor Bedard's wing, it's probably better than anybody that played with him this year.
Correct.
Okay. So you do that, you could start piling up wins in the regular season. I definitely, if that's the goal. Now, how Mitch evolves as a player through the next phase of his career, right? Because this is all hinging on the idea that he leaves and he signs a 7-year contract somewhere, like, max term that he can get on the open market. I think that, there are things that you're going to have to change unless you just have zero desire and zero self-awareness of like, hey, this is what I haven't been able to do. Like, I'm going to grow into this and win as like maybe not the top guy, but maybe the second or the third guy, right? Like ideally, if he came to Chicago, maybe he's the guy for like a year, but then he's not really the guy. That there's like 2 or 3 other guys that sort of emerge out of the group, and then Mitch is like...
And then how much do you have to pay those guys?
But how much is the cap going up over the next few years? Is the expectation that Chicago... Like, the expectation is that the Blackhawks are always a cap team, right? Once they are competitive, like, they should be in that range with, like, the Leafs and the Canadiens,
of course,
and the Rangers and the Golden Knights.
Cap every single year.
Mm-hmm. So... I don't know, man. Like maybe Mitch Marner at 12.5, or if you can get him at 12.5 or maybe even 13, right? Like, what does Connor Bedard's next contract look like? Are you getting Connor Bedard for 8 years on his next contract? Or is it going to be a bridge deal?
That's the thing is the next contract for Connor Bedard isn't going to be $13 million. It's just not.
That's what I'm saying.
Unless he comes out and scores 100 points this year, it's not going to be, it's going to be less than Mitch Marner. So you're going to be paying Mitch Marner the most on the team for at least the next 5 years.
but Mitch Marner would be the best player on the team
for 2 years.
Yeah.
Like, I know Connor Bedard like hasn't shown that he's like this generational superstar yet, but just like the look at like you cannot look at the way they hold themselves, the way their body language looks on the ice. You cannot compare Connor Bedard's mentality to Mitch Marner's. I know Connor Bedard hasn't even been to the playoffs yet, but you can just tell losing affects Connor Bedard in a way that it does not affect Mitch Marner.
Well, maybe that's something Mitch Marner needs to be around. Do you think if he signs in Colorado that Nate McKinnon is really going to put up with whatever, you know?
That would be perfect. It would be a guy that would just whip him into shape. It'd be like,
I think even like Sid in Pittsburgh, like if I think the noise around that is getting louder.
I think both those locations would be significantly better outcomes for Mitch Marner than the Chicago Blackhawks. I do not think Mitch Marner to the Chicago Blackhawks for anything over $12 million is good for either party. Like, because then Mitch Marner is leaving Toronto to come to a new team where he's still going to have all these. If we throw Mitch Marner the bag, he's still all like obvious. And I know that the pressure is different in Chicago than it is in Toronto, but he's just stepping into a new Original Six big city market that he's going to have all the pressure on. Like, he's still going to have to be the guy. Like, if he comes here and we pay him the bag, he's going to have to be the guy for the first few years.
He just needs to be himself. He just needs, like, the Blackhawks are so bad, dude,
and Mitch Marner himself
in the regular season is great.
Hockey.
In the regular season, it's great.
It's great. It's great in the regular season.
Okay, well, you still have to play you still have to get to the playoffs,
yes.
and that is worth something. Like, I don't know if it is worth as much as we're talking about here, but it is worth a lot to get to the playoffs. Just to get there, it is.
Yes, but you cannot pay a guy money. That you can't pay a regular season guy money that a guy that performs in the regular season and the playoffs also gets. You can't.
Yeah, I mean, you just have to be smart. If you go get Mitch Marner, you have to be smart with literally every other dollar you have and hope that the cap continues to skyrocket over the next.
And hope that Mitch Marner magically turns into a player that can perform better in the post. Because it's not even, that's the thing, is it's not even like necessarily that like, I don't think he wants it. It's just like, you heard him say after, what was it, game 4? Oh, that's my game. I'm looking for sticks. I'm looking, I haven't put one on net in 2 games in the second round of the Stanley Cup playoffs. It's not my game. He's right. It's not his game. Mitch Marner's style is not successful in the Stanley Cup playoffs. The Stanley Cup playoffs is a completely different sport from the NHL regular season. It is. It's just a completely different style of hockey, and Mitch Marner's style of hockey does not succeed in the playoffs, and we know this. We have the sample size. Like we've seen it. We know it doesn't work. Why would I pay a guy that much money who's not going to help me win a Stanley Cup? Mitch Marner helps you win a Stanley Cup by getting you to the postseason.
Well, yeah, that's what I'm telling you. I'm just telling you that is big. How far away do you think the Blackhawks are very far away from the playoffs right now?
Yes, but we don't know that. Yes. Tassos,
how many points were they out?
Tassos, yes, but Tassos, this year was fucking horrible. The reason why this year was so bad, it wasn't like we had Rinzel and Nazar lighting it up game 1 of this season. The team completely changed from the start of the year. I don't even know what the exact number of roster swaps there were over the span of the year, but the team we finished the year with has nothing, is nothing close to the team we started the year with. So it's like, we almost don't really know. And that's why we were harping on the youth movement so much this season, is because it's like, we want to know what we have. And it's a shame that we waited until the last couple months. I know a lot of these kids were in college and whatnot, but still, man, it's like we don't really know what we have just yet. Maybe it's not nearly, maybe these kids are not going to be nearly as bad as that veteran savvy group that Kyle Davidson strung together, and it was like a fucking Mod Podge lineup of 30-plus-year-olds that were about to retire. Frankly, I mean, you brought in 2 guys that retired, right? And TJ Brody, another one that needs to. And then a goalie that didn't play a single game. So realistically, you can't look back at this past season from the Chicago Blackhawks and be like, man, they are so fucking far away. It's like, we don't, and that's the shitty part about it all, is we don't really know how far they are, but it's like, I'm not going to jeopardize 5 years from now just to get to the playoffs a year sooner. I'm not. I don't care. I just stuck through this year watching Craig Smith and Pat Maroon and Ilya Mikheyev every night in and night out. If I did that this year, you think I'm going to complain about seeing all the kids that we've drafted play the next 2 seasons and maybe struggle a little bit? It's going to be so much easier for me. I am not going to jeopardize 3 years, 4 years, 5 years, 6 years, 7 years, God forbid more than that. I'm not going to jeopardize that. I'm not going to jeopardize the window that we're going to actually have to win just to try to get to the dance a little sooner. Because it's like, what? Okay, Mitch Marner comes to the team, and let's say Mitch Marner comes to the team this offseason, and then somehow he takes us to the playoffs this year, and then we lose in the first round. It's like, okay, all right. And then what happens the next year? Then we get there again, and it's like, you know, this would be the time you bring in a big forward, a big acquisition, a Marian Hossa type. But unfortunately, we just played all that fucking money to Mitch Marner last year. And we can't bring in the Marian Hossa type. Like,
Mitch Marner could be the Marian Hossa type.
No, he can't.
Yes,
no,
he can.
Do not compare Mitch Marner to 81. Never do that. Because he's not. Like,
he could be.
Marian Hossa was a fuck you power forward that could put him in the back of the net and played hard. Like, Marian Hossa, you would never see Marian Hossa doing a backhand fucking just muffin in his own zone.
No, I know.
In a game 5.
I know.
A must-win game 5 at home. You would never see Marian Hossa doing that shit. Right? You pay a guy like Marian Hossa that kind of money because you know what you're getting with him. With Mitch Marner, it is a complete and utter gamble that you're gambling that this loser is gonna somehow turn into a winner out of just magically. I mean, shit, I know people can change, you know? I like to think that like I'm a different person than I was a few years ago. But at the end of the day, you're still like the same guy, you know? Like, I don't think Mitch Marner's gonna change his whole game.
All right. Let's finish out this clip and then we'll continue this.
Was it like processing the fan displeasure tonight?
Sorry?
Was it like processing the fan frustration tonight as a local guy?
I don't know. I mean, you feel for it. I mean, I'm feeling the same way. It's like I said, it's sad. It's heartbreaking. It's something you don't enjoy. You know, we're not happy with that outcome either. And yeah, that's how it goes.
What's it meant to you to be a Maple Leaf?
It's meant everything. It took maybe a risky pick on a small kid from Toronto, and I've been forever grateful to be able to wear this Maple Leaf and be a part of some of the great legends here, and be able to wear this jersey. So never taken a day for granted, and always loved it.
Do you believe this core could get it done one day? Do you want another shot?
Yeah, I mean, we'll see what happens. It's like I said, it's devastating right now. We had a great year. Everything was going right. It's a great game 6, and fell short again. And it's tough to really put emotions or anything forward, thinking about future.
Auston's words were there were too many passengers tonight. You saw your frustration in the second period. Like, how do you explain that kind of thing?
Yeah, I mean, that's the right wording, I'd say, as well. Can't have passengers in a game 7, so yeah, it just sucks. I mean, we all got to hold ourselves to higher accountability, and we all need to be better.
I mean, let's start with it does, like, the way it's gone for Mitch Marner in Toronto sucks. Like, obviously that's a guy, and I'm not a Toronto fan and you are, like, I'd imagine that's a guy you'd want to see succeed in the sweater. A homegrown kid.
Well, yeah.
And that does suck. But it's like, now we're here. And I just, based on that response, it's like, do you hear that response and think, oh yeah, this guy's about to take a discount to stay? Like, I don't.
Well, either he won't, or, well, I mean, obviously either he won't or he will, but either he doesn't, and there's just always going to be this sort of stink around him. Like I said, if he took a major discount, I don't know. What would you even give him 9? Like, I don't know.
I think if he takes 9, like, I don't know, man. He's just they're so bad. They're so bad in games 5 through 7 that it's hard for me to even say.
How do you even justify $9 million?
Okay, so $2 million less than he's making right now. Like, what's the $2 million getting you? I mean, I'm just looking at this Toronto Puckpedia right now, and it really is astounding. If you just look at the forward group, it's like you have the core 4 making all over $10 million, and then you don't have a single other player in that forward group making more than $3.75 million.
Yeah.
How are you going to win? How are you going to this was the year. Obviously, we said this was the year because, I mean, if you look at the bottom of the roster, if you look at the depth forwards, this is a good group. Like, a lot of these guys, because, I mean, half of these guys are obviously going to be going elsewhere after the season. They're going to make more money than they are right now for the Leafs. Like, this was their time because it's like, if you can't win with this group, but then you keep that core 4 and you're paying them that much money, you're not going to get a better combination of players underneath them than you had this season. I can tell you that right now. I know the cap's going up, but if you're paying Mitch Marner that much money, what's John Tavares making? Like,
no.
It's
You'd have
impossible.
to if John and if you were to run it back, I hate that.
God.
But if you were to add Sam Bennett to the group, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, if you were to make it work with keeping everybody nice, Tavares, Marner, and then you could augment the group with like a Sam Bennett, then maybe, right?
Yeah.
Maybe.
Yeah.
But that's the only way.
That's like we think Sam Bennett's not going to take Bennett's going to take a couple more $1 million and go to Toronto.
Well,
just
I mean,
to
it
get
depends.
beaten up by the Panthers every year.
It depends. I think the Panthers are going to make a real run at trying to sign Sam Bennett.
Of course. I think they're going to get it done.
I don't know who they'll prioritize, if it's Ekblad or Bennett long term. I would personally prioritize Ekblad, but I can see 1,000%, dude. It's not even close. It's not even.
I don't know.
Not even close.
Did you see the way my boy Seth Jones played last night?
So what did you learn here in Chicago about Seth Jones? What did you learn about him here? That he's not a number 1 guy.
Yeah.
Yes. That is what you learned.
But he wouldn't
right?
be. He wouldn't have to be. You
yes.
still got Gus Forsling.
Yeah, but that's not. No. But like, the reason why this is working is because Seth Jones isn't even the number 2 guy. He's the number 3 guy, and then can, play like 2013 Memorial Cup final.
He played like the best
Seth
defenseman
Jones,
in the NHL last night.
Portland Winterhawks Seth Jones out there.
Yeah, that's what we saw last night.
Yeah. And so we'll see. But yeah, I would keep Ekblad, and
I
they would have to lowball him hard. Like, they would have to offer Bennett like $5 million a year.
See, but here's the thing: it's like, I don't even know if they here. Let me pull up their Puckpedia, because like, I'm sure they could figure out a way to get both of them done for not anything like too crazy low. And then it's like, you just rely on your pro scouting and Bill Zito to keep bringing in these studs every year for less than $1 million. Like, they've already proven they can do that. I don't know. I'm not leaving, the tax situation in Florida, the way that team's playing, the way they've got all those guys locked up for however many years each. I'm not leaving that to go to Toronto to make a couple more $1 million. Are you kidding me? Well, unless you're a glutton for pain and suffering, I don't think anybody in their right mind would do that.
Well, just to, it's about the money.
Well, yeah, I understand that, and maybe Sam Bennett wants the money. That's a possibility. He might want to get paid. You really think that place he's going to choose is going to be Toronto?
Maybe.
I don't see it happening. I don't know, man. I would do everything in my power to stay with this Florida Panthers team. I mean, you can be a part of history. Like, we're talking about a potential dynasty here. They have a serious chance to go back to back this year. And then you keep this core together for another 5-6 years. You're telling me they're not going to win another one? Like, I don't know, man. I'd stay. I'd do everything in my power. I'd take the relative discount. I mean, they talked about it. Were they talking about it on Leafs Talk, Tassos? The Toronto Maple Leafs have 4 players making more money than Sasha Barkov.
Yep.
I mean, all these guys are doing it. Every single one of them's doing it. You're telling me Sasha Barkov couldn't make more than $10 million? You think Matthew Tkachuk couldn't make more than $9.5 million? You think Sam Reinhart couldn't make more than 8.6? All these guys could make more money. Well, every single one of them can make more money. I think he's going to stay. They'll get it done for like 6. They'll figure out a way to get it done at 6. And then Ekblad will probably stay around the range he's at now.
All right. Do you want to listen to John Tavares next, Morgan Riley, or Craig Berube?
Why don't you call?
I'm going to say, I mean, they're all really good.
Yeah.
The Morgan one is good. The John one, let's do the John one first.
Okay.
Because we're talking UFAs and contracts and all that.
So fast in this one for you guys.
Yeah, they just executed a lot better than we did. And, once they got the lead, kept pressuring us, and we didn't execute well through that. And obviously led to their lead increasing and us trying to find our game and make up a big hole, and obviously difficult to do against that team.
John, it's tiresome to come out here year after year, same result at the end, but with a group that's this good.
Absolutely.
Can you describe the disappointment that you must be feeling right now? I know it's hard, but
It's difficult. Very difficult.
John, looked a lot like Game 5. How do you explain back-to-back home ice performances like that?
Yeah, it's obviously a significant difference in the series, and get to where we want to get to. That's it's not good enough. So, team we're playing against, and how hard they make it on you, the consistency that they play with, game to game, shift to shift, and obviously it's disappointing, frustrating.
Thoughts so far?
I mean, when these guys get asked about like the game 5 and 7, they're completely dumbfounded, because it's like, and I saw a clip of Berube saying this. Oh, we didn't execute. We didn't execute in game 5 and 7. Really? You didn't execute? I think that goes without saying. I think we all know we didn't that wasn't just an execution issue, right? I mean, you got blown out 6-1 in 2 games at home in the second round of the playoffs. That's not just like, you can't just chalk that up. And Maurice, for the coach of the Panthers, saying like, oh, they played us tight, and we got a few knucklers, we got a few bounces. It's 6-1. You can't credit bounces and oh, we just didn't execute the game plan all the way. You got blown out. You got absolutely thrashed on home ice twice. 6-1. You gave up 12 goals in 2 games at home. It's a mentality issue. It's a personnel issue. The group, it doesn't make sense. You've got 4 scorers that you're paying over $10 million to. That doesn't win in the Stanley Cup playoffs. It doesn't work. You can talk about bounces and knuckleballs and executing a game plan and playing hard all you want. You can do that all, sure. If that's what we want to do to avoid questions, let's talk about executing the game plan. It doesn't matter what the game plan is, Tassos. It doesn't matter what the game plan is when you've just got the wrong recipe. You can play the rest.
John, what's it meant to you to represent this team in the city?
It's meant everything to me. It was a big decision I made 7 years ago, and I've loved it. It's been amazing for myself and my family. So, just accept responsibility. We haven't been able to come through and play well enough to get to where we want to get to, and unfortunately our season ending today.
Would you like to be back?
Yes.
How tough was it to process the fan displeasure here tonight, considering what you just said?
Yeah, I mean, passion is a significant word amongst this fan base, and it's really special, and feel their disappointment. It's tough. Never want to see the jerseys on the ice, but we know we just didn't play well enough.
Does this core deserve another chance, John?
I mean, I know you guys will have your opinions. Obviously, management will make their decisions, but obviously a very good team that's done a lot of good things, just haven't broken through. So, never going to quit, never going to stop trying. So I'd love another opportunity.
Okay, I have something to say.
Mm-hmm.
This is a take I've heard from a lot of people that I respect in the game too. The Leafs stripping John Tavares of the captaincy was brutal.
Yeah. It didn't
brutal.
work well. Yeah.
Well, I mean, well, no, duh, it didn't. I mean, just what a consummate professional. And when that contract was signed as a Leafs fan, that was, 7 years ago, that was like me, right around my peak Leafs fandom, right? That injected so much life and energy, and nobody really cared if by year 7 that contract looked good or not, because it was all about how much John Tavares was going to bring in the first few years of that contract.
Mm-hmm.
And he brought it all 7 years of that deal. I think John Tavares is worth seven and a half on the open market on a 3-4 year deal. Mm-hmm. Honestly, really, truly, especially if you're a team like, sorry guys, but like Chicago, like, I know that's crazy, but like John Tavares is a guy that could totally reinvent himself over the next few years, a la, how some of like Corey Perry, but not like Corey Perry, but some of these other players that have, Max Pacioretty to a lesser extent.
As you get older, you have to adapt your game to be able to still play in the league.
John is still so good, and as if he is able to reshape his game into something like that, he's still going to be an effective player for a good number of, like, maybe even he's probably got like another 7 years in him if he really wants to.
Yeah.
So,
he was terrible. He was dreadful last night.
Yeah, I guess, but I don't know, dude. Like, John is not. He's still going to score a lot. Like, again, we're talking about regular season. You know what the funny part about the NHL is that you are paid for the regular season.
Mm-hmm.
The paycheck is for the regular season. The paycheck is not for the playoffs. The paychecks stop once the playoffs start.
Mm-hmm.
They do. Like, that's how payment in hockey works. You don't get paid once the playoffs start. You get bonuses for rounds. I think it's different. I think there might be like a team bonus. And then there's like maybe you have bonuses in your contract, like if you go a certain distance, but your regular paycheck stops after the playoffs.
Mm-hmm.
Or stops once the playoffs start.
Yeah.
So
the Leafs players really take that to heart.
Yeah, they do. They do.
Yeah.
But John has been really good. We can finish out this clip, but I just want to say, I think he's worth a lot to a team. He is going to have to take less than what he would be worth, like at least half of what he's worth on the open or on the open market to stay in Toronto. Otherwise, he's going to go help out the Ducks or whatever.
That's why sometimes when I see like these guys who like don't take that discount after they've made the bag, it like makes me like scratch my head, and it's like, do you care about your legacy? Do you care about winning? Because it's like you just made over $100 million over the past few years. Like your kids are fine. Your kids are fine. You have $100 million. Fucking put that in, invest in shit. Like, you're set for life. Your kids are set for life. Do you really like? Are you going to go to a new team to make $2 million more a year after you've just made over $100 million? Yeah, you can play the rest of the clip.
Does a game like tonight tell you how far away from a Stanley Cup you are?
Yes and no. I think clearly there's levels that we got to get to and growth that we need to have, but we did a lot of good things in the series to come to this point and have this opportunity. So fortunately, we have to learn again.
There were too many passengers. Those were Auston's words when we spoke to him a minute ago. How do you explain that?
Yeah, it's difficult. I think you accept responsibility individually and as a group. That just wasn't good enough. I liked our attitude and mindset and preparation through today. Obviously, disappointing. You accept responsibility. That's not good enough.
Yeah, I mean that's obviously more of a leader, just accepting personal responsibility. And
they did him so dirty. I can't understate how many of those texts I've gotten too.
Yeah.
With regards to the play of 34, the attitude of 34 versus the play and the attitude of 91. And, obviously they have different capabilities, but they're at different stages of their career. John Tavares shouldn't be able to do what Auston Matthews should be able to do right now. So, yep.
It's Tassos.
But John's a good dude. That's all, right?
Yeah, he is. He is absolutely.
Yeah.
I'm not saying any of these guys aren't good guys. Like that's not what we do here. We're not attacking, personal stuff about these guys. It's just like.
But leadership is a question mark with this group.
Yeah.
It is like the definition of being a leader and, how you display that and how you rally others. And, that's a question mark with this group. And it's not really a big question mark with John.
The thing about like this whole, this whole Leaf situation is it's almost like people like galaxy brain this almost too much. It's just like, look at how much their top dogs get paid versus look at how much the top dogs on Florida get paid.
Yeah.
People want to like bat their finger at me and like tell me like, salary cap's going up. Look, dude, I watched a dynasty team get destroyed by overpaying star players. Like, you cannot compare Keith, Seabrook, Kane, Tays to the core four on Toronto. You just can't. But once we gave those guys those contracts, I mean, we paid Tays and Kane in 2014, I think. They had the one more year left in them because they hadn't given the defenseman contracts yet. But then after that, once you had to start paying these guys their big tickets, they never won again. And that's just how it is. Like, it really, not to go like all Moneyball, but that is so important in the NHL, and people like to pretend that it isn't. People like to pretend, oh no, you can just dig deep in the playoffs. It's like, no, if you're paying just a handful of guys half the amount of money you can spend on a team, you're going to lose to teams that are spreading that money around better. You just are. You're going to lose to the teams in a 7-game series that have a better bottom six, that have a better bottom pair, that have two goaltenders. You're just going to lose to those teams because it's too hard. It's too hard to compete. It's too much of a team game, right? There's 4 lines. There's 3 defense pairs. You cannot be spending that much money on one line and one defense pair. It's not a way to win. It's not.
All right, we're up against the clock for a break, but I do want to play Morgan Riley's stuff before we go, so I'm going to play that.
Lots. I mean, obviously, we're not happy with the outcome.
How did it get away from you after the first? What was your sense of the group in the second period?
Yeah, I think. Obviously, there was a period there, where they get 3, and we're not able to weather the storm or push back, and. In there somewhere is a pretty crucial part of the game. Obviously, played a big role in the outcome.
Could you describe the disappointment you must be feeling?
I don't think so. No. No.
Can you understand the frustration of the fans? I mean, there were some people throwing their jerseys.
Yeah.
What's your message to those fans who have endured this along with you?
No one's given up. Obviously tonight is a bad night. So we feel extremely disappointed, and yeah.
Auston said there were too many passengers. How does that happen on a night like this?
Yeah, I think that's how it feels. I don't think it's because people don't care. I think it's, I don't know what exactly, but I just don't think we had our best stuff in the most important game of the season. That's unacceptable, and that's the result you get when that's the case.
On a personal side, you come out here at the end of every season, at the end of the series, whatever it happens to be, and kind of the answers are the same or the questions are the same. How tiring does this get when you guys have been this good for this long and have never been able to sort of get to the next level?
Yeah, to answer your question, I think, to be here is part of it. But, here, as in, speaking with you guys, is is not ideal. But I mean, the real frustration is about not moving on the ice. I don't care about this stuff. This is just part of it. The real frustration is there's a game. There's an Eastern Conference Finals game happening in a couple of days, and we're not there. So, in terms of answering questions and giving repeat answers, I apologize. I'm not trying to, but that's not the frustrating part. The frustrating part is what happens on the ice.
Did you guys let the Panthers off the hook in the series, up with a chance to go up 3-0, and then these 2 home games at the end of the series?
That's how it feels right now. But everything bad that you feel at the end of a playoff series is how it feels right now, whether that's, you feel like you didn't play your best in the last game, or you let him off the hook, or, you had him in a position where you could have gone up. But, that's what we feel. We feel all of that right now.
I wanted to play that, the fact where he's like, it's not, because he thought like, he thought the question was, is answering questions about this hard? And he's like, it's not really the questions about it. It's the fact that we're not doing it, which is good. Look, Morgan Riley had a really tough game. He had a tough season.
He was the worst defenseman on the team last night.
Yeah.
And he's getting paid the most.
Yeah. I love Morgan Riley a lot, because he's a guy that has never doubted, like there's never been a doubt that he cares a lot. And even when he hasn't had his best regular seasons, he's always shown up in the playoffs. And, he did have a really good handful of games in the playoffs this year. He did really play well for them. But, when the last game is your worst one, that's a tough pill to swallow. I've heard some people say, get him out of here. That's a difficult one for me. I know he makes a lot, but he doesn't make, $11 million. Like, you know what I'm saying? There's other, yes, Morgan Riley needs to be better. I don't think that he doesn't know that. Like, I don't think he doesn't know that already. He's aware of that, I think. So we're gonna see how this goes. But I just wanted to hear Mo, and he's a leader too.
The media there, it sounded like it was the same guy asking the Matthews just said that there were too many passengers question. I mean, obviously a brutal soundbite from Matthews, because it's like you want your guy taking more accountability than saying, like, when you say there's too many passengers out there, it automatically sounds like you're talking about the rest of the team more than you are yourself. So yeah, I was going to say nasty work, but I mean, I kind of love it. Respect from the media for just beating that point into the ground, and kept saying, yeah, your captain just said there were too many passengers tonight after he was a -2 with probably 1 shot on net. Thoughts on that? Yeah.
Okay, we got to hit a break.
We might just have to do a 3-hour show.
No. All right. We're going to hit a break here. And on the other side, we will have the second hour of Chicago Hockey Radio and also Mount Rushmore. So stick around for that. And we will be teeing up the conference finals, which kick off tomorrow with the Florida Panthers.
We got to do a little Pats talk on the other side.
And the Carolina
too,
Hurricanes. Yes,
we've just talked about the Florida Panthers are on the verge of a dynasty, and I'm just talking about these fucking losers.
Yeah, but that's the story of the day. Like, it's not really.
I know. You're right.
It's not really the. Panthers are good. World beating news. All right, back more on the other side. Lee Grossman, Tassos Kirkos. Stick around. More CHR. All right, right back to it with more Chicago Hockey Radio. Tassos Kirkos and Lee Grossman. And that is it. Nobody else here, just the two of us and everybody else here watching and listening. Please hit the thumbs up if you are watching this video right now. Subscribe to the YouTube channel. Tell a friend about this podcast and follow us on Instagram and X and leave a 5-star rating and review. Thank you for sticking around as we did Toronto Hockey Radio for the first hour of this show. And we're going to dive into the conference final matchups here. We are going to touch on the Florida Panthers side of things too a little bit here. We're going to spend a minute on the Cats and also the end of the Dallas Winnipeg series. Before we get into that, we also have a Mount Rushmore in between the Mount Rushmore of pump up songs. That was a fun one.
That was a fun one.
Okay, so do you want to do Cats talk?
Yeah. I just think we can't not do Cats talk. As I said before the break, like this team is on the verge of like dynasty talk here. I mean the moves they were able to make this trade deadline, like the two best players for the Florida Panthers last night were Brad Marchand and Seth Jones. And it's like those are the two guys they bring in at the deadline. And I mean, not to do Leafs talk, but it's like you talk about the guys that the Leafs brought in at the deadline compared to Florida. It's not close. Yeah, man, this Florida team is an absolute wagon. I talked about it at during the series preview. I said that I thought that third line of the Florida Panthers was going to be the difference in this series, and it really did prove to be the case. That Luostarinen and Lindell Marchand line is like one of the best lines in the playoffs right now. Just like what they bring to the table as a third line is so gross because you can trust them in any sort of situation. Like they're so solid defensively and reliable. And I mean, we saw them up against the Matthews Marner line for a couple games in this series. It's like you can roll these guys out against anyone. And then it's not just how reliable and defensively responsible they are. They can put the puck in the back of the net. And they've been doing it a ton. Super impressive. You got the top dogs, Barkov, Reinhart, both with points last night. And also what's been super impressive for me about this Florida Panthers team is how they've been rotating some of these bottom guys in and out. It's like they've got an extra line of guys that could be playing in the second round of the playoffs, but they're healthy scratches. It's like we've seen Gadjevich had a goal last night. Nasic had a goal this series. Greer had a goal this series. You talk about Jesper Boquist being scratched for a couple of games, then coming in and playing on the first line, having a goal and assist, and then being scratched the next game. Like it's crazy. This Florida Panthers forward core is just so deep, so talented. They play the right way. They're so physical. It's just like they're relentless. It's like, I don't know, man. It's so valuable that they have all these guys. They've got like 3 extra guys every single night that could be playing but aren't. And it's like in a playoff series, that's so valuable because then you're getting guys that are more fresh than the bottom guys of the other team. And it's just it's really impressive. And I see that there's Seth Jones hate in the chat right now. But I don't know what to tell you guys other than he was the best player on the ice last night. The Biz, I think it was, I don't know if it was Biz or Whip, but Matthew Tkachuk went on Spit and Chicklets this morning for just like a few minutes. And they were like, oh, Chicago thinks they fleeced you guys with that trade. And yeah, Seth Jones is playing every bit of a $7.5 million player right now. And he ended up being a great pickup for them. And they've got him for how many more years? 5 more years. So yeah, Seth Jones is a great fit there. I know you all hate him. You got to respect what he's been doing. He's looked fantastic. Should have had 2 goals last night. That one disallowed. Maurice touched on that in the postgame interview, saying that he probably would have challenged it in the regular season, but he didn't want to put his guys in that position if it went wrong. He didn't think that it would get overturned, and he didn't want to risk putting them on the kill when they were up 3 and the game was going really well at that point. So, Yeah, I don't know. Just needed to get some of that out of the way. You guys know I'm a Cats guy. You know I'm a Panthers guy. Matthew Tkachuk obviously playing through an injury, but, still playing the minutes on the second line there. That second line was like, funnily enough, I thought that line was going to come through. I tweeted yesterday, I thought that was a Verhaeghe game. That was like the only line that didn't score, but it's like, they're going to contribute in the third round here in the conference finals. So, and then Bob. I mean, Bob was tremendous. You talk about the game last night. Obviously, Florida came out dominant in the first 10 minutes. The shot attempts were like absurd. I think it was like 20-0 at some point as far as shot attempts go in that first period. But then the Leafs had like their first 3 opportunities were all breakaways, and Bob shut the door, came up so big for them. And then obviously you guys saw the game, so you know what happens in the second and third period there. But yeah, I mean, if Bob's hot, that defense is looking good. Ekblad's not getting suspended. This is going to be a tough team to beat. But I'm not going to say, I guess we'll wait to tee up the second round series because that's where I was going to go with this, Tassos, or the third round, sorry. Do we...
I just, like I said earlier about Florida, great hockey market, produces more NHL talent than people realize. The hockey down there is really fun, and it's a great community of people. And I said earlier, and I've said a lot, I grew up in it, and so I provided us with these Panthers hats today because I've had them, and yeah, man, happy for the team, happy for all my buddies that are Panthers fans and the people that carve it. We know Colby Guy down there and David Dwork and different people that have come on our show and talk Cats. So I know that they're having a lot of fun covering this group too. So that's just got to be really cool to be there, like to be a part of it when it's happening, right? Like to be in the mix somehow.
Oh, trust me, I know what it's like. It's the best time.
Yeah, but even to like cover the team, you know what I mean?
Yeah, true.
To cover the team is cool.
It's probably even it's even more enjoyable. Yeah.
So that's got to be a lot of fun. But all right, Dallas, Winnipeg.
Yeah. Dallas, Winnipeg, game 6. Dallas gets it done in overtime, 2-1. Honestly, dude, like I was really excited for that game, but the news about Scheifele's dad coming out that morning, just that his father passed unexpectedly the night before. I mean, I just felt like so bad for the guy and the family and the team that like I was like, oh man, like I'm not even thinking about a game right now. Like imagine losing your dad and then having to play in one of the most important games of your life. Like insane. And so obviously from Chicago Hockey Radio, I tweeted something out, but obviously our deepest condolences and sympathies and prayers for the entire Scheifele family and the entire Jets organization. It made me pull for, and I've been wanted Dallas to win the series. I had money to win for Dallas to win the series. I wanted the Jets to win game 6. And for Scheifele to not only like to play, like I can't even like playing in that game is just like so commendable. Like, I don't know, man. It's like, it's almost like emotional, like to do that. And then not just to play, not just to be a passenger, not to steal Auston Matthews' words, but to score the lone goal for the Jets. I mean, that's hockey for you, Tassos. Like that's why this is our favorite sport in the world. Yeah, I don't know if you had anything to add from that perspective.
Yeah, just, hockey is a very spiritual game. It's a very, we just spent an hour talking about like a pretty gutless, soulless group of individuals. But normally hockey is like quite the opposite of that. It takes a lot of sacrifice to be able to play hockey,
and to
win in hockey, to just everything. Hockey is a community. Most people are here to help each other, and it's a tough thing to watch him in the penalty box, and like that was about as must kill of a penalty kill as it gets. And but like that's also life, and I think it gets really underscored because he plays in Winnipeg, how good of a person and player Mark Scheifele is. And you think of like a predecessor to him, Dale Hawerchuk, in Winnipeg with the old iteration of the franchise. Like there was a group that was really, really talented. If you know anything about like the old NHL, and they just ran into some guy named Wayne Gretzky a lot, and like we're never able to really get it done in the playoffs. And not that the Jets were like, you think about this core, and Nick Ehlers going to free agency this year is going to be a big thing for them. I'm not as high of a Nick Ehlers, like I'm not as big of a Nick Ehlers guy as some other people are.
Yeah, no.
But that was a franchise that I think the Hockey News picked them to win like the 2022 Stanley Cup or something like that back in like 2014 or something. And you think of guys like Scheifele and Connor and Ehlers and Morrissey and Hellebuck, and you thought that like they made the conference final in 2018 and lost to Vegas, and or 2018 or 2019, one of those years.
Yeah,
and you thought that there was going to be way more of this, right? And it just hasn't turned out that way. But Mark Scheifele is such a good player. He should have been on Team Canada at the Four Nations, and he probably should be on the team at the Olympics. I know that he was like the next guy up if Sid wasn't able to go or whatever, but like he should have been on that team. Like Travis Konechny is not better than Mark Scheifele, I promise you. Like that is just not.
Yeah, there were. I mean, there were several.
It's not true. It's not true. So really good player, really good person. The Jets. It was good. Like they were close, man. Like they were actually really close for a team that the word fraud was thrown around a lot with the Winnipeg Jets. That team showed some guts, trying to battle back from down 3-1.
They did. I mean, they pushed Game 6, and we talked about this before Game 6. Justin and I, like, if they were able to somehow steal a win on the road there and force a Game 7,
they
I
probably
think they would have won the series. And it's like you're just, they were like one goal away. And yeah, man, I mean, you can't blame Scheifele or Connor. Scheifele with point per game this playoffs, Kyle Connor well over that. I mean, those two showed up. They did. And there was a lot of, the start of the playoffs with Ehlers and Velarde both out. And for those guys to step up the way they did in that St. Louis series, and then again in Dallas, it was very commendable. It just wasn't enough. Like that Dallas team is too damn good. I don't really. I think that I agree with everything you said, Tassos. I don't really have too much more to add. I don't know what direction Winnipeg goes from here. I think they need. I don't know, man. Like, you think they need more offensive talent, but it's like clearly the team plays better when they've got like this super locked in defensive mindset. I just don't think it's enough to lift Lord Stanley. Like, I think they need to shake it up a little bit. But obviously you've got a couple of dogs there in Scheifele and Connor. So, I don't know. I think that's all I've got for Winnipeg talk.
All right. Let's send it over to the Mount Rushmore of pump up songs. We're going to have to record more this week. We have one more pre-recorded. So, but the good news is that the reason that Justin is not on the show today, I know I said the vacation voice. That's actually not true. Raven is the only one on vacation. He deserves it. So, but Justin is on his way back from school because he graduated yesterday. So, congrats to Justin also.
W Justin in chat, please. Thank you.
And he will now be like in person for some of these streams and all the shows and a lot of the content that we're doing. Justin's here now. So
yep, we got him.
Yeah. Shout out Justin. And we are going to now do the Mount Rushmore. So we'll be able to record all of these in person, but he's on Zoom for this. So enjoy this and we'll be back on the other side. Conference final talk. All right, everybody, it is Mount Rushmore time, and this one is least hockey related one,
Yeah.
although can be applied to hockey, depending on how you're interpreting this. It is the Mount Rushmore pop-ups or pump-up songs, pump-up songs. So that could be before a hockey game. That could be just, whatever gets pumped up. And with the first overall pick in this one, it is the man in Ohio, Justin Lynch.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of really good pop-up songs. I think most of these picks would be tough, but for the first pick, this is not hard for me. Play this a lot of hockey games. I used to go back a lot of Wolves games back in the day. I'm pretty sure they still play a lot. Give me "Kickstart Your Heart" by Motley Crue. Easy one. Yes, sir, baby. Motley Crue always gets me fired up for hockey or just anything.
For the second pick, we will be taking Song 2 by Blur.
Mm.
Woohoo! That's like one of the earliest pump-up songs I can think of at like any stadium.
Well, thank you, Raven. Now I have that stupid Send song stuck in my head again. That like parodied that.
We've got a gosh,
Absolute choke.
That song makes me violent.
Oh my gosh.
When I think of like pump up songs and hockey, I think of like, the NHL video games and, what songs that like stuck with me. I've been posting a ton of this stuff on social media for us and, always putting this song. It's like my go-to is just to look at like the NHL songs and, be like, hey, like, we're posting hockey related content. Let's get some of those songs. So, with my first pick, I'm going to go 1901 by Phoenix, and early, I think it's like NHL 2007 classic. That one always got me hyped up.
I missed when they're still okay, but I missed when the Shell games had really good soundtracks, like those early 2010s ones, NHL 2010 especially. Yeah.
Is it my turn?
Mm-hmm.
You just did such a great job, like prefacing that, and so now I'm gonna go with a song that I wasn't even thinking of before you said that. I'm gonna go with "Superstar" by Lupe Fiasco. After that, for everything, for all the rationale Tassos just gave you for that pick, just apply that to mine. Thank you. I want to say it was in NHL 08 or something.
All right, you have another one too.
And then another one. I'm gonna go with "All of the Lights" by Kanye West.
As a LeBron edit plays.
Yeah, right.
All right, I am going to go with. I'm going to go with "Thunderstruck," AC/DC.
Yeah, classic. That's when they play at White Sox games.
For our second pick, we will be taking a probably just like up there level of song that you just picked. Give me "Seven Nation Army" by the White Stripes.
Yeah, it's like the most stereotypical like sports type song, but in a good way. Yeah.
They just, I believe, if I'm not wrong, but I believe they just got nominated into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame.
Yes, well deserved. The White Stripes. Yeah.
Also, big Chicago guy. Jack
That's
White.
right. Yeah, one of my best friends, they're big fans. Yeah, for sure. All right, another one. There used to be Patrick Kane's goal song before Chelsea Dagger came along. Give me "Rock You Like a Hurricane" by Scorpions, also in NHL 2010. That's a classic. Here I am. And then the next one, this one might be a bit more niche. Like, not everybody knows this one. Another one that I used to listen to Wolves games all the time. Classic from Apollo 440. Give me "Can't Stop the Rock." Stop the Rock.
They would play that one at Wolves games all the time.
I'm sure Tassos probably has a Vietnam flashbacks.
Yeah, that one really scares me. Yeah.
I like it though. Yeah.
For the third pick, we will be taking "Welcome to the Jungle" by Guns N' Roses.
Good pick.
They're just going for all the classics. I like it.
Yeah. Give me "Levels" by Avicii.
Nice. The Avicii pick just hits home.
I didn't even really want that as a pick, but I saw that and I was like, I gotta take it.
You gotta take it.
You love Avicii.
Yeah, he's all right.
It's my turn. Do I have two back
Yep.
to back? I'm gonna take this song. I swear you cannot go to a sporting event. I don't think anybody's taking it. Let It Rock. by Kevin
That's one of those
Rudolph.
classic like late 2000s or 2010 songs. Yeah, that's a good one.
You all know you cannot go to any sort of sporting event without hearing that song.
It's like a
twice.
requirement.
Yeah.
No, you cannot. I can't argue against that one.
I just remember finding the Club Penguin music video of that song, and then that was like, I don't know what it's called, but I know what this video is, so that's how I'm gonna find this song every time.
And then for my last one, I mean, you guys have taken a lot of the rock classics, so I'm not even going to try to compete. I'm going to stay with like rap in Chicago. Give me Finito by Chief Keef.
Oh, that's a good one. Oh, Chief Keef.
Someone pick him up. Take him to the morgue. I'm riding through New York. No. Can it go and shoot New Jersey up?
All right.
The
Give
Devils.
me, this is going to show my age a little bit. Give me Lifestyle by Rich Gang, Young Thug, Rich Homie Quan.
Oh, yeah. Hell yeah.
Rest in peace. Rest in peace.
Yeah, rest in peace, Rich Homie Quan. Yeah. I had another one that I wanted to pick, but I decided to go with Lifestyle instead because I figured it was a little bit more hype.
Was that your third or fourth pick?
That was my last pick.
Okay. For our last pick, I'm going to switch it up, and I'm going to go with something a little bit newer. We're going to go with Like That by Future, Metro Boomin, and Kendrick Lamar. And everywhere except for Toronto, that is a banger. That'll get the crowd pumping every time.
There's so many good ones. It's hard to narrow it down. I'm going to stick to my kind of rock theme here, classic songs. One of the best intros of any song ever, in my opinion. Give me Dire Straits, Money for Nothing. You hear it a lot of Hawks games this year. They play it when the players come out for warm-ups and stuff. Yeah.
That is a legendary guitar riff.
Right,
I love
and
that
that
one.
is
It's just about like microwaves and shit, like random. That's a legendary song.
Okay, we don't need to do honorable mentions.
I was thinking of Draft Day.
Yeah. I'm surprised nobody took Chelsea Dagger. I'm surprised.
I don't think of it as like pop up though. Like you know what I mean?
I mean, you
I don't know. Yeah, I guess
Any Eminem song, I guess. Like
Yeah.
Till I
Yeah,
Collapse,
Lose Yourself.
I'm surprised.
Yeah,
I thought that
Till
was
I
gonna be
Collapse.
Justin's one. I thought that was Justin's
So did
one.
I. I had
Lose
it.
Yourself.
I thought
Yeah,
of doing.
I thought of an Eminem song. I just thought, yeah.
I was gonna do an Eminem song, but then I thought of after you said that, I was like, I gotta take Superstar, and then I also thought of the fucking Let It Rock, and I was like, I can't not pick that. Like,
Honestly, like, now that I think about it, I'm just thinking of a bunch of songs. I don't love my picks now. I went for classic stuff. I should have went for more. Anyway, whatever.
no, because there might be people that are trying to pick based on like the most like niche shit. you know?
Nostalgic, yeah. Like that's kind of what I was going for.
Few other ones like Titanium, David Guetta, Animals by Martin Garrix, Can't Hold Us by Macklemore and Ryan
Wake
Lewis.
Me Up, Avicii.
Yeah, like
That's another one.
Those
So
are
wake
all...
me up when it's all over.
I thought of some more Chell songs.
There's
yeah,
like
there's a lot of
Joker
good
and the
ones.
Thief, which is a good one.
I mean,
Yeah.
we could just go through
Time to
every
Pretend.
rap song
Yeah.
ever. I mean,
Time to Pretend by MGMT
Put
is a
On
good
by
one.
My City by Kanye and Jeezy.
Darude Sandstorm.
Yep, that is
classic.
the OG.
Yeah, there's some good ones.
Some
There's
even
good
more
ones.
classics like Van Halen ain't talking about love or whatever. Yeah.
There's the
Hot for
hockey
Teacher.
song. Have you guys ever heard the hockey song?
All the
Oh,
scientists
the
are
good old-
running around. Oh, that's a
Yeah.
different one. Oh, yeah.
Yeah, there's like.
But think about some pump up. Like, oh, yeah, it really gets me
No,
going.
no, that's not. No, I just.
Yeah. No.
Cool. This list, for some reason, of hockey pump-up songs has a lot of Imagine Dragons on it. So.
No.
Imagine
That jacket is
We're
nowhere to be
fire.
seen.
I'm radioactive. Radioactive.
Oh, no.
All right. We
God.
are going to kick it back to the show.
Enjoy losing this one, guys.
Well, I did lose that one.
Shocker.
I mean, come on. I'm on a heater. I think I've won in the past like 6-7 game Mount Rushmores. Nobody's won as many as I have. Not even close.
You're still in last,
Well,
and it's not updated from Friday's show either. So
yeah, and so
thanks for updating the board, guys, while I was gone.
Yeah, and I
will do that after, but you are still in last
because I need more from that because
But you won the one on Friday.
Yeah,
but you're still in last.
Yeah.
Okay.
But
I think I got back-to-back second place, or did I finish in third? I have to check right now.
I know Justin.
Oh, it's a tie. So we're gonna do what do we do for a tie?
It should not be two people to get second place.
No. Rock, paper, scissors?
Um,
What if we call Raven and if he picks up the phone right now? Do we do that?
And if he picks up the phone, then what?
I don't know. We're going to figure it out.
Okay. Sure. Call Raven.
I'll call him right now. Let's see.
I'm surprised you're not just giving them the point to keep me further away from last place.
Let's see if he answers. This is great podcasting.
Yeah. Anyway, I didn't go the rock route there. I went with the Chicago rap, and it did not pay off in my favor.
I'm surprised by that a little bit.
I know, me too. All of the lights. I know that but really, that song doesn't fire you up. No Superstar, Lupe Fiasco. Never heard that one before.
Raven is at the 9/11 museum, so he cannot pick up. He says.
Can't talk loud in there or something, I guess. Sorry. Inappropriate. Okay. We will figure out what we're going to do with the points later. I think that is relatively low.
No, but like you're not winning this. You know that, right? I think you're not getting out of last place.
I don't think I'm going to win. I think I'm definitely getting out. Tassos, I lost a game that has nothing to do with it was just songs. It's just what songs do you like more? And apparently the people who voted on our Instagram poll do not have the same taste in music as me, and that's fine. That has nothing to do with me obviously getting out of last place because Raven and Tim have been dropping stinkers quite frequently, and I have been winning these since I've been trying and pandering more. Like, I've been winning more than anybody else has, so I definitely think I'm getting out of last place. Like, how can you look at the last, 9 of them and be like, you're not going to get out of last place? Like, I've won, 4 of the last 9.
Yeah, but you're not there's still, we need to figure out how we're going to break this tie.
I mean, either way, you can just give them the extra point.
Why? I want it's a tie with me, dude. You're in last.
Well, I know it's a tie between you and sure. I would rather you have the extra point because I'm gonna have an easier job catching fucking Raven and Tim than you. So yeah, take the extra point. I vote you get the extra point. That's what I think. I think you should get the extra point. I'm 2 points behind Raven and Tim. Like, I'm gonna catch them. They're not. They don't know what they're doing. I mean, just go back to the best hands one. Like, you and Raven and Tim leaving fucking Patrick Kane off 1-1 and 1-2. Like, you guys don't even want to win this. So I do not think I'm gonna stay in last place at all.
Yeah.
Right.
Agree to disagree.
A conference finals talk.
Oh gosh.
Shall we start in the West?
Sure.
We've got the Edmonton Oilers facing off against the Dallas Stars. Pretty much a pick'em on the sports book here. I guess Edmonton's -118, Dallas is -102. So I guess a slight, tiniest sliver of an edge to the Edmonton Oilers, which is kind of crazy because the Dallas Stars are the home team in this series. They're going to be playing 4 at home. I'm excited for this series. I think it's going to be a banger. I think Edmonton Oilers have been must-watch this entire postseason. I mean, they're always must-watch. They've got 2 of the best players in the world. I'm excited to see what they can do. I've leaned towards the teams they've played in the past couple series. I don't know what I'm going to do in this one because it's again, I'm in my stomach, I'm leaning towards Dallas. Dallas is the more complete team in my mind, but the forwards on the Oilers have just been scoring. Like they've just been finding a way. They've been playing so much better hockey. Those last couple of games against Vegas were not just like, it's not like they're scoring like crazy on them. I mean, they won a 1-0 game in overtime. You know, like they're defending well too out of nowhere. It just, this Oilers team doesn't really make sense to me, but I just can't stop watching them. They're so exciting. I think I'd probably rather Stanley Cup final rematch from last year. I think I'd rather Oilers Cats in the finals, but this Dallas team has been so entertaining too. And with the whole Rantanen thing, like if they get to the Stanley Cup final and God forbid they win it, and it's just like Colorado fans are going to be beside themselves. Like that is going to be so brutal to watch. So there's so many storylines with both these teams. Where do you lean? As like, do you have a strong read on this series? Do you feel confident one way or the other?
I will say a few things. The Oilers have hit a gear that I didn't really think they had in them this season. And a lot of that obviously comes from the big dogs and Connor McDavid sort of kicking everybody into full gear. That's at least what I believe. I don't know what happened in that Vegas series. I never really expected it to go that way, and it just sort of like it was one of those series where you blinked and it was over.
Yeah,
it was quick. Vegas was out of it before they really even had a chance, and the Oilers can do that to teams. You've learned that like the big guys can have like just their bursts and get their cookies and, you know, produce at high levels and contribute to winning hockey, right? So, but it is the whole team unlocked with the, like, you know, guys like Matthias Janmark and Nugent Hopkins has been really good for them, and you know, Evander Kane fit right back into the lineup, and
Trent Frederick showing up too, and
there's like
Connor
all these
Brown,
guys.
Just like,
Connor Brown's like a hockey player,
he's
man.
A dog.
Like he's just a straight up hockey player. So there's a lot of things to like about this Oilers group. Dallas to me is like the overwhelming big bad superpower that like has all these guys, and
now they're healthy.
And
Hiskin and
Ottinger's
Robbo.
been really good, and I don't know how you could go against Dallas, but but Edmonton is the team that it's like, oh, if you know, not to agree with you here, but yeah, I don't know how you pick against Edmonton either. It'll be interesting. I want to see Edmonton win the Stanley Cup now, or the Panthers, but you know, more Edmonton, because it's important for me for hockey, especially that he plays in Edmonton, which isn't a market that like there are probably some like. I don't know. Not a lot of people know where Edmonton is, right? Mm-hmm. Like, it's important, but the best hockey player in the world plays there, right?
Yeah,
it's not like he plays in New York City or Los Angeles or Miami even. It's not like he plays on the Panthers, like, or Chicago here.
Tassos, my friend Elia was asking me like where Edmonton's located because he wanted to like understand how long the flight would be from Edmonton to Toronto in case that was a Stanley Cup final. Like, go on, not to cut you off, but
no,
that
it's just,
true.
But it's tough for hockey that he plays there, so it's important that he wins, so that you know that's the biggest way you are out there is if you're a champion, right? So, it's going to be an interesting West final. I'm intrigued by the Edmonton goaltending and how that holds up over the course of whatever amount of games they play.
Yeah, it's like it's a circus with Edmonton, but I think I'm in the same boat with you. Like I want to see Connor McDavid win a Stanley Cup. Like I really like Connor McDavid. I really like Leon Draisaitl. I want them to win, but also part of me is like, oh my gosh, like how long could like... We all agree that Connor McDavid's like the best player ever. Maybe not the greatest player ever. Obviously, he hasn't won much. But if there was a game tomorrow and you could have one player throughout history on your team, there's not a single player you're picking over Connor McDavid throughout history. Like he's the most talented hockey player ever. And a part of me is almost like, oh my gosh, how long? Like maybe I'm just such a hater, and it's like funny to see like I don't know. This is fucked up. But a bit of me is like, how long can we go before Connor McDavid wins the Stanley Cup? Like he's so good and so dominant that it's almost like the beautiful thing about the sport is like, you've got a guy this good, this talented, who shows up and gets better in the bigger moments. And yet he's still not been able to lift Lord Stanley. Like, it's almost a testament to how good the league is and how good the sport is. That like, no. You've got this superstar that's better than everyone. And it's like, oh, like if you were explaining this to somebody who doesn't watch hockey, it's like, no, Connor McDavid's clearly better than everyone. Like he's probably the best athlete on the planet. But he's been playing for 9-10 years. He still hasn't won the Stanley Cup. Oh, why is that? Does he not have any help? Is there no one else good on that team? Well, no, actually he's got another top 5 player in the world on his team. It's just that hard to win the Stanley Cup, Tassos. And so I guess there is part of me that almost likes seeing him like almost get there, and then like I'd be okay with Florida beating them again in the finals. Like, am I fucked up for saying that? I don't know.
That would be heinous.
I know. I know.
But the script is to beat Florida this time.
Yeah, the script is...
That's the Sidney Crosby script.
Yeah, the script is to get back there and then get over the hump. You know, not go down 3-0 and have to climb that mountain again, you know? But also maybe the script is Dallas and Florida. Maybe the script is DeBoer versus Maurice, you know? There's a script there. I don't know. I just like, I'm not going to be confidently picking. Dude, I'm honestly not even going to be confidently picking on either side of this bracket. I guess we'll wait a second to get into that. I don't know if you have any more thoughts on this Dallas Oilers series. I think in my stomach, Dallas should win the series. Dallas is the better team on paper, but I've also felt as though LA and Vegas were the better team on paper versus the Edmonton Oilers, but they've got the X factor and they've just been finding a way. It's like there's so many more question marks with the Edmonton Oilers than there are with the Dallas Stars. That's not like a big brain analytical thing to say. Like, I think we all acknowledge that, but it's kind of just the truth. And it's like, yeah, I could totally see the Oilers winning the Stanley Cup this year, even though I thought they had no business of doing so at the very start of the playoffs. So
Can I point out something interesting that nobody's really talking about? I know plus minus is kind of an outdated thing. I'm looking at Dallas right now. I was just looking at like who's the points leader right now. It's obviously Rantanen. Hintz has 10 points, but like Rantanen has 19 points.
Yeah.
Duchesne has 5 assists.
He hasn't done much.
0 goals in 13 games. Jason Robertson has 0 goals, 1 assist in 6 games.
He came back from injury. That's a little more understandable.
Jamie Benn, 1 goal, 2 assists, 3 points in 13 games.
Playing on the fourth line.
Hold on. The shocking thing to me is the plus minuses on these guys.
Are a lot of them minus?
All of them.
Well, yeah, because...
No. Just, can I read these?
Yeah. Sorry.
Jamie Benn, -6.
Yeah.
Wyatt Johnston is a -13 in the playoffs.
Woof.
Matt Duchesne is a -9 in the playoffs. Blackwell's a -3. Robertson's -3. Sagan's a -2. Rantanen, Granlund are plus players. That's it.
You know why this is, Tassos? Is because
Ilya Lyubushkin's a -7 and Thomas Harley's a -5.
Thomas Harley's been playing 45 minutes a night. The reason why, though, is because, I mean, you go back to the Colorado series, there were the couple of games where they kind of just got destroyed, right? There were like 2 really dominant wins for Colorado. I want to say it was game 1 and game 5, maybe. And then you had the 2 games on the road against Winnipeg that they got shut out and lost like 3-0 and 4-0. So, I mean, that's where all the dashes are coming from. And then you really are only getting scoring from the Rantanen line. Like, the power plays come through a couple of times, and so that's where, like, Johnston's got his cookies. But, like, nobody else is... and that's... I might be talking myself into an Oilers prediction right now because we talk about the depth of Dallas, but the depth of Dallas has not, like, come through for them at all. It's been the Mikko Rantanen show because it's like these games with Dallas, like there hasn't been a ton of like close games. It's either they win pretty convincingly or they lose quite convincingly. And so like, dude, I might be like, is it weird to say that I almost have more faith in the depth of Edmonton right now than I do in the depth of Dallas? Like the guys on Edmonton have been showing up more than these guys, like as you're going down that list. And also like the Duchesne thing, like this is a contract. I mean, he's not going to be making $3 million next year. Obviously he's had a couple of really good seasons back to back now. He's going to make more than $3 million, but he's 34 years old. He's not playing. Like, I think Dallas wants to keep that guy, but I don't think you're going to be able to rationalize paying him whatever he wants after he's, only got 5 assists and is a minus whatever you said.
Yeah.
I might be starting to lean towards Edmonton, man.
No, I think Edmonton, I'm almost ready to say Edmonton's a guarantee.
Wow. That's crazy.
No, I don't know.
I mean, you got Heiskanen back. Heiskanen started to look really good in that last game or two. Because how many games has Heiskanen played? Has he played in 3 now? 3 or 4? Like, you had Thomas Harley. You've got 2 number 1 defensemen in Thomas Harley and Miro Heiskanen. Like, dude, this team is going to be a wagon for so long, man. Thomas Harley is such a good hockey player. Obviously, he scored the overtime winner the other night. But, I mean, the minutes that guy's playing, and he's playing first power play unit. He's the top dog on the penalty kill. He's playing fucking 30 minutes a night. And then you've got Miro Heiskanen coming back, who is a legitimate, Norris contender every year. Like, they've got 2 number 1s. They've got 2 dictionary. Like, there's probably less than 10 true number 1s in the NHL. Is that fair? Maybe not much more. If there's more than 10, there's maybe 12, 13. Is it fair to say Dallas has 2?
Yeah, sure.
I just I'm not going to go to guarantee, but I mean, their defense is looking a lot better now that Miro Heiskanen's back, and you don't have to play fucking Thomas Harley 30 minutes. But yeah, I don't know, dude. The depth scoring is not really shown up for Dallas in the way that everybody's pretending that it is. People are acting like, oh my gosh, Dallas is just so deep. It's like you just said it. Rantanen has 19 points this year, and then Hintz is the second most with how many? 10, you said? That's not depth scoring. The Panthers have depth scoring. The Panthers, I forget what the exact stat was, but I think in they had 8 different players with the exact same amount of points. And it's that's depth scoring. That's contributions everywhere. That's not what we're seeing from Dallas. They've kind of been built up into that, though. They've been built up into this this absolute wagon that's oh my gosh, they've got Jamie Benn and Dodonov on the 4th line with Sam Steele. And it's yeah, I mean, they've scored twice this entire postseason. It's not just because you recognize the name Jamie Benn doesn't mean that he's destroying the postseason. Yeah, I don't know. I guess we're going with Edmonton. Any other thoughts?
No, none.
Dude,
it is Take Central today on the internet.
Why?
No, it's just everybody's got things to say.
Oh, of course. I mean,
everybody's got stuff to say today.
Are you surprised by that after last night?
No, but it's also Bad Take Central, And
do you want to read a couple?
It's not just about the Leafs. No, it's not just about the Leafs.
Can you read a couple? I like discussing bad take. I love Bad Take Central. That's my happy place.
Yeah, this is
it's actually the street I live on. I live on Bad Take Central.
Things all fans need to accept after 2 playoff rounds. This is according to Slapshot. This will likely be the Oilers' best chance at winning the Stanley Cup. Do you believe that?
Why?
No. Yeah, I don't either.
Why would that be what if they just get a true number 1 goaltender? That's not that hard to do.
What if they just got better?
Yeah, they can. It's not. They're not like the Leafs where they're paying 4 guys over $10 million. They just got 2. It's I don't think the window's closing for Edmonton anytime. I thought this was.
Let's quick hit these. Let's quick hit these.
Sorry, one last quick hit. I thought this wasn't the year for Edmonton. This.
It's
okay,
not. Yeah, it's not supposed to be.
Go ahead.
The Avalanche's contention window has been disappointing.
Yes. Facts.
The Mitch Marner sweepstakes will be absolute cinema. They're stealing our bet. Yeah, I think it's gonna be entertaining.
It will be, of course.
The Minnesota Wild will be a top tier contender next year. I could see it. They got a lot of cap space.
Yeah, they got to make something happen though.
Connor Hellebuck is not as bad in the playoffs as he is made out to be.
The second round, that's true. He wasn't that bad.
Yeah. The Toronto media is largely to blame for the team's failures.
Stop it.
No,
Tassos. It's true. It's actually the fans. It's not the media. It's the fans that are to blame. Grow up. The fans, the media. No, it's the losers on the ice. Go ahead.
The Stars forward core is the best we have seen in a while. Well, apparently not, based off of what we just read.
Yeah, we just debunked that statement.
The Capitals were never truly a Stanley Cup contender.
I mean, I said this, I think, like the first month of the season.
Yeah.
I said that so long ago.
The Hurricanes are boring, but they're an excellent playoff team. World-beating news. Shocker, guys.
But
we're going to find out. We're going to find out what they're made of.
Yeah. This is the test.
Yeah.
And I think that's a perfect segue to get into this series. Yeah. So the Panthers are listed as like slight favorites on the book, minus 125 favorites. The Canes being plus 104. The Canes obviously having home ice, game 1 taking place tomorrow in Carolina. It's a quick turnaround for the Panthers. I mean, look, I think people might expect me to like lean super heavy Panthers here because I think that's probably the more common take, and I'm obviously kind of a Panthers guy, but I don't love this matchup that much, and I don't love the fact that Carolina has played back-to-back 5-game series, Tassos. Like, they've had a lot more time to rest the legs. They're going to be a lot healthier, a lot fresher. I think I could easily see Carolina coming out to a 2-0 lead in the series, similarly to Toronto. I could see that happening. So, like, do I still think the Panthers are probably going to find a way? Yes. I think my prediction for this series is Panthers in 7. But like, I'm seeing people say like, oh, the Panthers might, like, they're just so much better. The depth is so much better. It's like, yeah, the team is better, but it's kind of like the Canes system. It's kind of their game is like they don't have the best names, but they stick to the system that does succeed in the playoffs. So I think it's going to be a series. I think it's going to go 6 or 7. I think it's going to go 7. I don't know if you disagree on that, but
I do disagree on that. I think we got a quick one on our hands, folks.
Really?
Yeah.
Why?
I don't know. Florida is going to only continue to get better, and Carolina just doesn't have the horses. They don't like Logan Stankoven's a fine player. Sebastian Aho's a fine player. Jacob Slavin's one of the best he is the best defensive defenseman in the world.
Their entire defensive group is really, really solid. Chatfield might still be injured, but they've got Nikishin stepping in. Like,
yeah, no, I know. I get it. I just think Florida's, another level above.
So I guess the reason why I say that I think it's going to go 7 is that, like, if you look at the style these two teams play, Tassos, like, they're both going to be very willing to engage in a super grind you down defensive low scoring game. Like, I don't think there's going to be a ton of overs in this series, right? And so if all these games are going to be 1-goal games, I can totally see the Canes stealing a couple. Like, these guys just got out of this 7-round series against Toronto. They're flying into Carolina today, going to that shithole rink.
They're going to be they're going to be more amped up. I'm telling you.
Yeah,
dude.
and sometimes we do see that. Don't get me wrong. Sometimes we do see the teams that have the quick turnaround.
The Panthers just had an emotional series against the Leafs where there was a lot of noise around it, obviously. And, not that that's a bad thing, but it's just a thing, right? And, the Carolina Hurricanes made pretty quick work of the Capitals, and that wasn't really much of a series. So, yeah, I don't know. I think this is cats all day long. This is, it's Florida, dude. It was always Florida. Carolina I'm telling you, I have people saying that, Carolina is on they are good, but they are just right on the verge of not being very good. Like, you know what I mean?
But Tassos, it's not like this is some new team. Like, this is the same thing you kind of know what you're getting. I just don't love the Panthers. Like, I don't love the Panthers as much as I normally do in this spot against Carolina. I don't know. I think it goes 7.
Yeah, I don't. Give me this. Give me Cats in like, less than 7. Anything less, 4, 5, 6.
Okay. Well, really going out on a limb here on the show.
Well, I don't know.
I think Florida's going to win in 3 of the possible 4 games they can possibly win in.
Okay, give me Florida in 5.
Okay.
Maybe Carolina gets a game. Sure.
So you think for them to win in 5, they have to split here on the road after just coming off that series, and then win both at home, and then win on the road again in Carolina in Game 5?
Yeah, like Florida's going to take it tomorrow. Like they're going to win tomorrow. They'll win. Yeah, maybe. Yeah, I don't know, dude. I think they probably win both in Carolina.
All right.
I think they definitely win tomorrow.
I don't know, man. That's tough. It's tough. I understand. I understand where, like, I don't think you're off to your rocker here.
Unless that's the game they take off.
Yeah. This Florida team never starts series that well. Like,
yeah, okay.
Their game is always just like investing into the later games in the series. Like,
then maybe that's the game that they take off, and then they'll win 4 straight or 4 or 5.
Maybe.
Yeah.
I mean, I hope you're right.
No,
because I do not want the Canes to win this series at all. I do not want the Hurricanes in the Stanley Cup final. That would be absolutely dreadful. Like we just talk about, like I just brought up how, who's calling me on? Come on. We talk about how, Connor McDavid not being able to win the Stanley Cup this long into his career is like almost a testament for how good the sport. If the Canes are able to reach this, if this Canes roster is able to reach the Stanley Cup final, it's like not good for the sport of hockey. So I don't want it to happen, but they're a team that plays man-to-man defense and just dump and chase hockey, and they've only played 10 games so far. Like I like that for them heading into this Eastern Conference final, and so I think there's something to be said there. But that's just where I stand. I hope you're right. I would rather you be right. I don't think you're going to be, but we will find out. Game 1 starts tomorrow. Are we going to be streaming that, Tassos?
We are. Ooh. If you looked at the schedule,
I know.
That is out.
I was just trying to, dude, someone from DePaul is trying to call me. I gave you enough fucking money. I'm not giving you anything else. Get off my line. I was just trying to tee you up there. I wasn't like actually wondering if we were streaming tomorrow.
Yeah, we are.
Okay.
We
are streaming tomorrow. Did we do it?
Yeah, we did. If you're looking for, Justin would be upset if I didn't mention. If you're looking for more hockey today, Frank Nazar has been lighting up the worlds. So World Hockey Championship today, Canada plays who? They play Finland today. Marc-Andre Fleury. I think that game's actually going on right now, or it's about to. So, it is going on right now. And some interesting stuff today. Slovenia beat France, which I know just sounds like a weird add to the show here, but Slovenia is staying in the top division, and France got relegated for the first time in over 15 years. So
how bad did Czech beat up on Germany?
Let me see.
Because my buddy called me like this morning, and he was like, "Have you been watching the Worlds at all? I don't know if I should be betting." And I'm like, "Dude, what are the odds?"
5-0.
Okay, yeah. He's like, I don't know, like. Czech is, do you know anything about these teams? Like Czech's like minus 720 right now. I'm like, yeah, dude, don't touch the fucking Worlds, bro. Do not bet on that. Also, something that I found really funny that I know you would have appreciated, Tassos, is I saw like, obviously Blackhawks Twitter is a special place. I have a special place for it in my heart. But some of these guys were like, they were like Frank Nazar in his past 12 games played, combining his world stats to his stats in the NHL.
That's crazy.
And I replied, and I was like, we're combining his points in the show with his points in the Worlds. Absolutely gutless or shameless or something. And these guys are like getting on me. They're like, what do you want? Like, why are you saying that? And I'm like, because you're comparing his points that he has against NHL teams to his goals that he scored against Hungary.
He is leading the team in points. He's leading the team in points. He has 9.
I know. He's a dog. He's a dog.
Keller has 8, and Tage Thompson has 7.
Yeah, I think he's going to be better than all those guys. I had that thought today. I was like, wait, like Frank Nazar is going to be better than Clayton Keller. And I genuinely believe that. So, Yeah, I mean,
maybe the one thing I do want to say, Connor Bedard probably should be there. Probably,
I think it's a nothing story. He went last year.
Yeah, and I think but Sidney Crosby wasn't there, and Nathan McKinnon wasn't there.
Yeah, but Tassos, he went last year, and he didn't. He probably feels as though he wanted to perform better this season, as everybody around the hockey landscape were pretty obviously calling out that there wasn't much progression. I think he probably thought of that this year and was like, I should probably do something different. I want to get a little faster. I have no problem with him not going. Like, I think that's a nothing burger of a narrative.
I don't know. It looks like Macklin Celebrini is learning a lot playing on Sidney Crosby's wing. I don't know. Maybe a Bedard, Celebrini, Crosby line would have been fun.
I think hockey fans in like, because that's also a thing I see, like, I don't know. I feel like people take too much from situations like that.
What?
Like, is Macklin Celebrini spending a week with Sidney Crosby?
No, you're right. He's
spending the trajectory of his career.
No, he's spending 2 or 3 weeks with him, actually.
All right.
They're playing what? They're going to play. They're going to play 12
dynasty.
games. They're going to play 12 games to get. No, I'm just saying. Like, I didn't say that. All I said, mine was actually a thing at Connor. Like, maybe you should have gone. Marc-Andre Fleury's. Like, there are players there that like you could learn from. a little bit.
I know, but I think the point I just made about him doing it last year and then not liking the way he played this season. Like, I'm happy that he's doing something different.
Yeah, I guess.
So I'm not going to stress about that.
Nathan McKinnon, maybe a good guy to, learn from.
Yeah, you can learn all about losing in the first round to Dallas from Nathan.
All right,
dude, Stanley Cup champion. I'm doing a bit. Let me do a bit. Jesus.
Bits are supposed to be funny.
Okay. Well, I think other people find that funny. You just are like, hey, no, Connor Bedard needs to go.
Oh my God,
his career is going to be He needs to go to Linford.
He does.
Sidney
Go to the
Crosby in
Worlds.
the World Championship.
Go to the Worlds. Do you think he has any chance at making the Olympic team?
No.
Okay, good. As long as you understand that's the answer.
And he didn't if he went to the Worlds. Tassos, Macklin Celebrini's not going to be on the Olympic team.
Oh,
Robert Thomas and Mark Scheifele weren't on the Olympic team. And you think fucking Macklin Celebrini's going to be on it?
I'm telling you, just watch. Okay. Watch.
All right. Yeah, I'd rather bring Macklin Celebrini over Dylan Strome, Robert Thomas, or Mark Scheifele. Sure.
It's Hockey Canada. The Olympic rosters are bigger. You can bring more guys than the Four Nations. Like, I think he'll be there. I think he'll be there.
I do not think at all that Macklin Celebrini will be there and Connor Bedard won't.
Okay.
I'll tell you that right now.
All right.
I think they're either both going or neither of them are going. Connor Bedard, hey, buddy, you know that Connor Bedard went to this tournament last year, right?
Last year.
Yeah, he went last year.
This is this year.
Sid didn't go last year. That's your point. Okay, whatever. Jeez, you're going to be so oh my gosh.
No, but this is
such a lazy. You talk about
this isn't a lazy. This is not a lazy take.
Of narratives.
Nobody's actually mentioned this really. Like nobody's really been talking.
So many people. Everybody on Twitter talks about it.
I'm not on Twitter, dude.
Okay, well that's why. Maybe I think you should get on Twitter because that's where like a lot of people in like the hockey world converse with each other.
Yeah, I know people in hockey that are telling me that Connor Bedard should have gone.
Okay, so I don't like again. That's like such a weird like
what it is.
Okay,
it is, dude.
You got some like dude that's played hockey that's like, oh, Connor Bedard should go. Okay, like so what?
No, people that work in the game have said that like he should be there. So this isn't just like my take or like some guy on Twitter's take. Like this is
all those people that watch Connor Bedard for 3 games this year. Like, yeah, okay, they're in hockey. I don't care. They don't watch Connor Bedard as much as I do. I don't care. I don't care about respectfully. Their opinion doesn't mean as much as you think it should to me.
Okay.
It's like none of these guys are watching Connor Bedard as much as I am. I would rather him working on his strength and his speed than going to the Worlds and learning about face-offs from Sidney Crosby. Sorry.
All right. Well, we'll see. We'll see. I do think Celebrini will be on the Olympic team. Okay. That is something that I do think will happen.
And Connor Bedard won't?
Yes.
Okay. All right. We'll see.
Yeah.
I mean, that's going to be a big story if that's the case. I disagree.
You think so?
Well, yeah, of course.
Yeah.
Hockey Canada, that'd be a big brain play. You've got 2 future superstars here. Let's take one of them and not the other. That's a smart way to do it. Good job, Hockey Canada. Keep it up. You guys, we've talked about it seemingly all year long.
If there's only one
how
spot,
great Hockey Canada
if there's only one spot for a young kid, if they only make one spot for a young kid, like they'll take Macklin.
Yeah, we'll see.
All right.
That doesn't matter to me because I think Connor Bedard's going to be a much better player than Macklin Celebrini, so I'm not worried about it.
All right. Let's wrap it up.
You got me fired up to end the show.
Subscribe to this YouTube channel. Please, please, please tell a friend about this show as well. Redirect them to our Instagram. Tell them to click the follow button. Tell them to share it with more friends. Leave a 5-star rating and review on Apple Podcasts and Spotify. Helps us out a lot. Hit the thumbs up too if you're on your way out. And we really appreciate you guys. We're streaming Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. And we have a show on Wednesday and a show on Friday. And we will have Justin Lynch back. So be in the loop with all of it. Stay connected with us. And we gotta do Friday questions too at some point again and get to it. We got a lot of guests to get on. This is the stretch run here. This is like we're down to 4 teams. We're gonna get in the days soon. I mean, it is nice. I'm glad that the NHL is, there is, other than today, there is hockey every day for the next week, but we will start getting into the days of not having days with no hockey on very soon. And then there will be no hockey all of a sudden. So thank you for sticking with us, everybody. Really appreciate it. Thank you to ourselves, actually. You know what? Shout out the two of us for doing this show by ourselves. No Justin, no Raven here. Shout out me, basically, is what I'm saying. And also shout out Lee. But good job to the two of us, actually, for banging this one out. So that was great. Thanks, everybody. We'll be back tomorrow for streams.